Matthew, and this is... Hey, you're supposed to say your name now.
Oh, Kenji. Okay. Letting him host. Look what happens.
Okay, you start it. You better get started it.
Welcome, everyone, to Drink White Think. I'm Kenji, and then he's Matthew.
And I was supposed to lead today, and I already have a feel just coming out of the gate. So welcome, everybody. So today, we're going to be talking about Acuitycon, and I have to admit that I have not really been very helpful in planning this conference. So, but I wanted to ask Kenji some questions since he's done all the powerlifting on getting the talent to come in from around the country and around the world. Kenji, tell me, or tell everybody, because we got a lot of other firm owners out here. Like, we're reaching out to everybody around the country and around the world, firm owners. Give me, I won't say your favorite, the most interesting session you put together and why you think it's going to be interesting at Acuitycon and who's running it for us. Oh, what are you drinking?
Thank you. I was like, what are you doing? Where are you going? First, what am I drinking?
I got 2 false starts. I did the intro wrong and whatever.
The Bohemian Riot. It's a Pilsner. It's from Arches Brewing, which is located down kind of south side of Georgia, kind of near the airport.
Cool.
I've had many of their beers before. It is a Pilsner, Bohemian Pilsner. You know what that means? You know where Bohemia is?
No, it's in Rhapsody though.
Bohemian Rhapsody. It is meant to represent a Czech Pilsner, kind of the home of Pilsner. So when you see a Bohemian Pilsner, it means Czech. Anyway.
Okay. And then you'd be proud of me, I'm getting into the Oktoberfest mood. So I'm doing Zirkusfest, the Oktoberfest from Hi-Wire. And it had me at malty and crisp. So I was like, okay, that'll be interesting.
Cheers.
Cheers. Okay.
Good.
So the question is...
Hold on, real quick, before I go to that, just because there's a thread of thought. I have 2 current beers in fermentation right now. One of them is another Saison, which was one of my last ones, which came out really good. So I'm doing the same recipe, some tweaks. But the second one, I'm doing an Oktoberfest.
Oh, that's cool.
Oktoberfest is in there and getting, so that's coming. Hope if you like that style, hopefully I can have a bottle to you soon, or a few bottles.
I'll drink both. And my random, since we're going with COVID hobbies, my random fact, so Laura does a monthly department meeting. She's the department chair. My wife's the department chair at one of the universities here. And the opening slide is the egg count that we have from the chickens. And she's having the department update today. Egg count 0. Even though the chickens are now of age, we believe, to where they're on the early side of the 6-week window where people start.
I know it's probably not measurable, but what's the fly count?
Well, the fly count is like 6,000 billion flies. It's terrible. It's just awful.
Don't tell me that, because I'm not. I cannot stand flies. But I'll still come visit you anyway. Back to Acuity. Cool. In what session am I most excited about?
What session are you really excited about, and why? What pops to your mind? The first one, and tell us who's running it and why you think they're great for that.
I think the one I'm most excited, this most interesting is we're doing a special Drink What You Think panel. And talking about the future of the accounting profession. And even though it's a real bummer that we can't be together physically, this year provides a cool opportunity because we're bringing in firm owners from around the world to have a drinking panel discussion from their perspective, wherever they may be in the world, about where they think the profession's going. So that should be really lively. It should be a fun way to end the day on the first day. I'm excited. We've got a couple U.S. folks in the U.S. Nio is going to be on there. Nio Carter-Gray from the U.S. representing Team U.S. along with Michael Lee representing Team U.S. From Canada, the amazing Rachel Fish. the totally awesome out of Australia, Heather Smith, and then my man, Mr. Will Farnell out of the UK. And these are just all people I highly respect. I just think they're going to have some really interesting takes about all kinds of things in the profession, everything from technology, services being offered, the way firms are structured, making the profession more inclusive to people. So I think it's just going to be that'll be a cool, lively session. Like, in fact, that'll be probably the most out of control session. Like, trying to kind of keep that one on track is going to be a little bit like kind of bull riding and trying to keep everything going. So I'm kind of looking forward to that challenge of keeping them going. But that's gonna be a fun one. That's gonna be a really fun one. There's some other really good ones too within our sessions. Can I mention all of them?
Yeah, go ahead. I was kind of thinking not a session to me. That's a panel, so I was going to get to that one.
Yeah, that's true. I kind of jumped the gun.
Let's talk about the sessions. Let's just knock out all the sessions that you're going to be cop out and not tell us our favorite. Tell us like what sessions we got lined up.
So I'll mention her because she's our only two-time person. Like, she's on the panel and doing a session. But Nayo Carter-Gray is talking about just diversity and inclusion in the accounting profession. Her perspective on what things need to change, and that's going to be a great one. I think that's going to be an incredibly popular one there. So awesome with Nayo. Let's see. We're doing one with both Blake Oliver and Evan from Giraffe, who are going to talk about KPIs kind of in forecasting during the times of COVID. Like, what are not just kind of like, hey, what are KPIs? It's like, no, what are the ones that are needed right now during turbulent economic times and during this time? So they've got some good information, some studies they pulled. And I think Blake's going to talk through these. And while he's talking through them, Evan's going to live build up the dashboards and the forecasts and stuff like that. So it's going to be kind of a cool way to do it.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
Can't leave out our sales team.
This one I think is super cool. Joel Lacayo. I mean, that's worth the price of admission.
That's worth the whole Acuitycon right there. Just go see Joel.
I mean, he's going to be bringing the heat. He's really going to come talk about his experience. I mean, that guy's been selling accounting services for a long time, or financial accounting services. The guy's been for a long time. It's at Xero, now at Rippling. He was kind of over inside of a firm when the guy has done a ton. He's an awesome salesperson, a great connector of people. So he's going to come in and just get really real with our team about how do you sell accounting services? What works? What doesn't work? And so our team is going to have a blast with that one. That's not one you're going to see at many accounting conferences. I promise you that at all.
Yeah, get Joel up there kicking some tires. Yeah, that'll be fun.
And then it's hard for us to have Acuitycon without having the Gusto team and Will Lopez there. And so Will's coming in. It's hard not to let Will talk about their new people advisory. And we've had a team, I think as a team, we've had a ton of people already become certified people advisors. So we're not going to go redo that. We're going to take it some levels deeper. We're really going to talk about why Will and the Gusto team thinks this is kind of an evolution and a next step in the future of the profession, right? This is something that actually is a more natural fit than people might realize for accountants. And so we're going to dig kind of deep into some of the theories behind that. So this will be, we got a bunch of certified people. I'm sure in this case, we're the most certified firm out there when it comes to people advisory. But now we're going to go master's level. Here's the master's class on it. So the seminar. So those are what we're doing. Those are the four. Got a lot of other content. That you've been doing.
We don't have a fifth. I thought we had a fifth session.
There's the four. You've been saying five, but those are just the four.
So. Okay, 4 sessions. You can tell how much I've been engaged with this. And then we have, I understand, 25 folks come in for the Expo session, including 22 partners, and we're gonna have 3 Acuity ones. So we're learning a lot about running a conference, folks, virtually. We're gonna have.
Really excited. I'm excited about it. Like, I mean, the technology, we're as usual. I mean, right? What do you always say? Let's go mess some things up. Like we're not using Hangout. We're not using Zoom. we're using, a tool. You may tell people about it.
Yeah, we're using a tool called HopIn, and it's going to allow for us to have stages. It's going to allow us for sessions. It has a networking function where you can meet one-on-one with people you haven't met before, or people you haven't met before, just randomly pairs you up. And then it has an Expo hall where we get to do a trade show kind of thing. So we're real excited about having all of our technology partners there. I think last year we had 17. This year we have 22 technology partners. So it's not the same not having them live, but I think it'll be fun. And yeah, and then I sprung on Kenji today, my addition, that we're going to have a Matthew, Kenji, Lisa booth. And he was like looking surprised, but some of the team reached out in one of our meetings and said, there's got to be a place where we can connect with you guys. So we'll be there. We'll rotate through that. So hopefully there's a lot of fun doing. I think we're going to even have like a fun one, like a water cooler one or a vortex one, like a happy hour one where people can just connect and meet and like in groups and stuff like that. So
as you look at that platform that we use, and now we've been poking around in it and just getting off. We're like on our 4th or 5th iteration of like pretend conferences to kind of go and try it out. Like what's one thing that really stands out to you that you're excited about with the way the platform works?
With the way the platform works, I kind of like the feature at the Expo where you can just be like you are at normal expos, where you don't have to be live in the screen talk to people, but you can kind of eavesdrop on people. Like, so the way the platform works, you can have 10 people in a booth, which means you can have 10 people on the screen talking about whatever you are with the booth people. But you can have an unlimited number of people watching what those people are talking about. So that's kind of, I think that's like the coolest, like true representation of like an expo. It's like, I can't tell you how many times like my back's to the people and I'm listening, trying to hear what they're saying, trying to be cool, like I'm talking to somebody else.
You're in the back row of the the expo booth. There's people in front of you asking questions, yet the sales and marketing reps are trying to get back to you to scan your badge, and you're kind of hiding in the back.
Yeah. So I like that. I like where you can just kind of lurk. And so I think that would be fun for people who want to lurk. It would be fun for people, because I think a lot of people, I know I'm an extrovert, but like a lot of people are introverted and want to see the stuff and want to hear about it, but don't necessarily want to jump in and do that. But then it has the ability for people to do that, and then they can chat and they can ask questions. So it's kind of just, as long as people are willing to play with it and have fun with it and mess up a little, I think we have a pretty good culture for that. I think everybody will enjoy it. And then we'll cap it off with something interesting and surprising, kind of non-traditional. So I'm kind of excited about that.
That should be fun. Yeah.
I'm really curious if we should just tell people what it is, or if we should kind of keep it a secret, or like just tell them the day before, or like have it on the agenda or something. I don't know. We go back and forth with this.
We tell people like to invite their families to it even. And I think that gives them intrigued enough for sure.
Yeah. So
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But
I don't know. Maybe we should tell them right now, and only the people that watch Drink While You Think will know. It would be like some like cool secret.
A hidden Easter egg instead of Drink While You Think.
A hidden Easter egg instead of Drink While You Think. So basically, Kai will know and nobody else will. Yeah. It would be cool.
What I like about the platform is it definitely feels like more like a conference, right? Because truly, if you were bored at the keynote, which Matthew, you've never left a keynote early, have you?
Yeah.
Right. You and I barely even go to keynotes, do we? I shouldn't say that. But if you're kind of bored of the keynote and you want to go poke around the expo, you can do that, right? You can go jump in if you want to do a little bit of networking. If there's anybody else in the networking area, you can jump in and network.
That's where the keynote, I appreciate that you're telling people like to go poke around during we only have one real session where we're like kind of talking heady.
Yeah, we really are. But to me, that's a good way. Like the issue is engagement, keeping people engaged over. I mean, we have a hard enough. We're excited when we get double-digit watchers of this, right? People they like video. You're drawn to it, but to keep them engaged in that video content is difficult. And so when you let people, I've heard you say it a lot, like choose their own adventure. That's a Liz Mason concept I've heard her talk about too, is choose your own adventure. You give people freedom and flexibility, which a conferences really do, honestly. is you move around. If this is not grabbing you, you're not feeling it. Okay, jump into this session. Find something, have some choice about where you get value from. So it puts pressure on us, I think, to go, well, the things when we have the keynote running, and that's the only session running, like we're trying to get some information to people, and we better make it good so that way people stay. But, I like that feature, and that it feels more authentic to a conference experience. And unfortunately, a virtual world, which is very not authentic, but it's interesting.
I hear you, man. That's cool. What else you got? We got what do you got as you got Falcons or Seahawks this weekend? For home opener, man.
Of course I got Falcons. Come on.
Just checking.
Me too. I'm in a bunch of pools and things, so I've already had to go through and look at it. I don't remember what the line was.
I don't know if I'm going to do lines this year, dude.
Well, it's really strange, right? Because
you don't get home field advantage, really.
You don't. You don't. And that used to be 3 points.
Yeah.
Which makes me question the concept of home field advantage anyway. Because what do you do about? What if you're the LA Chargers? Why would they ever have been given 3 points like in the past few years?
I bet Vegas takes that into account.
They must. I think they must, right? So you probably look at some of those. But then you think about a team like the LA Chargers and go, you know what? This for them could be like, maybe it's a 5-point swing for them. Because now they don't have to go into their stadium with people, from the opposing team or their own fans like booing them or bags on their head, right? If they go into kind of a more neutral environment. So they maybe try to pick on the Chargers, but other teams like that who've, you go in and it's, I don't know, it may be different than the NBA.
Probably.
It does probably mean these audio engineers who are going to be running the sound and have all these different rules about things. Did you watch the game last night?
No, I didn't.
I didn't really. I flipped it over at one point. The whole family was there, and they're not into the football stuff, and so I was trying to be thoughtful about not getting into it. But I watched a little bit of it. It was in Kansas City last night. I think the Chiefs won. I'm pretty sure they did. But
Chiefs won.
Okay, it did win. It was interesting seeing like nobody in this. I mean, there were people in the stands, but very few. Even my wife, who does not like football, who's similar to your wife, was like, looked up and goes, "Oh, that's weird." I said, "Yeah, it is weird." I've been in that stadium. I was a couple of years ago in that stadium, went and saw a Chiefs Broncos game and sat in the end zone. I'm like, oh, I can see my seat there. Like I was sitting there empty. Like I can see where I sat, and we were wall to wall people, and it was noisy. And you're like, there's nobody there. So
crazy.
How would you? Let me ask you this around football, and is it a team that probably held your first love, the Dallas Cowboys? So an NFC East team, and Jerry's planning on putting people in there, right? Like, he's talking about, hey, it's Texas. We're going to put people in spaced out. You're probably going to get most other NFC teams that aren't going to put people in there, like because they're in more conservative. Like a lot of those East Coast are not going to do that.
Right.
Like, that's kind of an interesting. Will that play to advantage?
We talked about this. David and I talked about this. David's the guy that sits with us in the games, and he was like, "Well, if you have 10,000 or 20,000 people in the stands, it's almost worse because it reminds you how bad it is." Because have you ever been to a football game with only 20,000 fans in an 80,000 foot stadium? It just feels bad, and the energy is bad. Yeah. So I think it could not go well. Because the fans will have a bad experience.
What if,
I don't know.
I looked at that Chiefs game last night. You see people there, and you're like, who are those people? And you're like, oh, are they NFL people, team people? Are those family members, close members? Like, I wonder if maybe for the first time ever, I guess the answer should be yes, players can hear,
their dad,
their wife, their mama, their girlfriend yelling at them up there, that's good or not. You can, I don't know.
I think you could probably get more people fed this way. Just kind of like if you're courtside at NBA games.
Yeah.
It'll make it more interesting. I'm excited. I'm really interested to see if we're going to be able to hear what they're telling each other now. Because it's going to be so quiet. Are you going to hear the audibles and like all the back and forth with the players and like.
What I noticed last night, you'll see this weekend, is if you're not looking, and it was the Monday Night Cruise, Collinsworth last night, and Al Michaels, right? So you kind of hear their voice going, and they've worked up the audio pretty good. If you're not paying attention and they're not showing up there, from another room, it sounds like football.
Okay.
Yeah, there's crowd noise, there's stuff. It's like, I mean, I'm sure they've spent a lot of time on that. Like, okay, we got to make it not awkward, because if you're playing in a place where there's like, you can literally hear every sound.
I thought that would be cool. Like, that would be kind of interesting. That would be a totally different experience, right? It's like mic'd up. Like, they have a whole mic'd up thing. You can hear what everybody says the whole time. Yeah. Cool. Well, that's all I got for you today, Kenji, since you didn't plan anything, and I'm winging it.
It's kind of a short, compressed week, and we just kind of got a little bit away. So, give me your take on your beer.
I got you. It is as kind of advertised. It's malty and crisp, which is kind of nice when they come to it. I don't really like the can. I think the can is just awkward.
Oh, but bearded lady?
Bearded lady, which is kind of just awkward and generally.
Remind me again. Can I look at the name? It's the
Zirkusfest Oktoberfest from Hi-Wire.
Got it.
So if you pull it up, I would probably give it a 3.5. So.
Okay. Oh, that's actually. What's interesting about that is, I'll do screen share so you can see it. The Zirkusfest. It's a Marzen beer.
Okay.
Which is the historical Oktoberfest, and yes, that's what I'm brewing is a Marzen right now. Let's see if it shows the beer related to people. I can't quite see it. You said 3.5.
3.75. I want to take it down. Okay. There you go. I'll be wishy-washy.
What's that? Do we know where's that brewery from? Where is it?
Hi-Wire?
Hi-Wire? Is it here?
I don't know where Hi-Wire is. I assume it's local. Asheville? Oh, we've had Hi-Wire before. I think we probably had them when we played the Panthers one time.
Yeah. I had the Bohemian Riot. There it is. Arches. One more. Yeah, I'm gonna go 3.75 too. I like that. I think this beer is apparently known for. This brewery is known for doing kind of historical.
Nice.
Doing kind of historical German European style beers. It's good. We'll have to. Our buddy Tom out of Canada, who comes from Czech background, he might like that. So.
Cool, man.
But everyone, don't forget to subscribe. We're up over 100 subscribers. Awesome. Hit subscribe. Be part. I mean, you missed out on being part of the first 100. You don't want to be part of missing out being on one of the first million, because after that, you're not going to feel a closeness to us anymore.
Yeah, no, it's just not going to be the same. We'll give you a shout out. We should do like pandering. If you subscribe or do a comment, we'll read it, like the Cloud County podcast guys do.
Like David did.
Like if you subscribe, we'll shout you out, or we'll have you as a guest, or something like that.
Yeah, or drink a beer in your honor, or send you a beer, or send you swag.
Oh yeah.
Swag. Yeah, we should get some swag.
Yeah, I'm excited about the AcuityCon swag boxes. Those are gonna be fun. I can't believe Kelly's telling people not to open them. That's awesome. So don't open them. Don't open. We're sending people swag from our company, and then they're not supposed to open the box. So
it takes the pressure off of AcuityCon. It's like, okay, if the content's not great, people are definitely going to love getting a box full of swag. I think people right now, any kind of connection, like, hey, I received something physical in the mail from my colleagues is exciting. So we got that going for us, which is nice. Cool. Well, cheers, everyone. Subscribe. We'll see you next time on Drink.